Hello. Okay, let me know if I am audible, visible, and all that. And if you have any queries. Hello, how are you? Namaste, I am fine, thank you. How are you? Hello. Any questions from anyone? No questions. I. Okay. We have a long question. Okay. Jupiter in Aquarius should make me generous, humanitarian, and known to many people, but I am opposite of it as all this before. Now my attitude has changed. Why Jupiter in Aquarius characteristics may have been diluted. As I understand, it is in Saturn sign. So Saturn is all about delays, hard work, and perseverance. It gives better results when we are in our 30s and mid 30s from that onwards. So that may be the reason that you are getting these results of Jupiter in Aquarius with certain delay in your life. Okay. Uh, it also depends upon how much energy we are exhibiting or giving into those activities. If you are involving yourself in activities related with Aquarius, then sooner or later those traits and characteristics will improve. If someone is not even showing any interest, then it is bound to take some time in improvement. A lot also depends upon Saturn's position. Okay. Because Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius. If Saturn is not well placed, then also it shows that the delay factor can be prolonging for person to showcase his Aquarius abilities. Okay. Libra ascendant Ketu in the eighth house, chances of inheritance property. Inheritance, I think you are asking about inheritance. Or by which planet or house which we consider inheritance property we got. Eighth house is the house of inheritance, and Ketu is the. Now understand, when Ketu is in the eighth house, Ketu represents a split, kind of separation. Okay, so when Ketu is in the eighth house, it kinds of separate the inheritance matter. Means there can be like one portion is given to this person, or one portion is given to this person, another portion is given to that person. That kind of a split can take place when Ketu is in the eighth house. It may lead to certain dissatisfaction in someone's desire of getting inheritance property or inheritance money and all that, but Ketu in the eighth house normally brings this split, that inheritance property is divided into between two or three people, and that leads to some dissatisfaction or conflict between those people. Okay, but eighth house remains the house of inheritance. It also depends upon eighth lord position. If eighth lord is in good dignity, then it shows person is having good gains of inheritance. And if eighth lord is not in good dignity, then it shows like a person may have like frustrated results in matters of inheritance. Thank you. Okay. So, any further question? Yeah, we have. What can indicate innocence to such extent of being stupid? I am so innocent that people use me and abuse me, and I lose my money and belongings. Uh, this could Rahu in Ashwini. Uh, Could Rahu in Ashwini and exalted Venus indicate innocence? Please suggest a way to become practical. Okay. Mercury is our intellect. Mercury is also our cleverness. If Mercury is not well placed, person uh, maybe kind of mm, giving maybe kind of like trusting people a lot, or not taking decisions intellectually. All I want to say, if Mercury is not well placed, that means person is not applying lot of intellect while taking his decisions. Okay, so that he may be trusting easily, and he may be giving away his money just like that. All those things can take place. So if Mercury is not in good dignity, it is in Pap Kartari Yoga, all those things can come up. But as you asked, please suggest a way to become practical. At least we should become practical through our life experiences. Through our life experiences, we should understand, we should learn things, and that may make us more practical, more realistic in our life. So when you have already gone through experiences where people have cheated you and all that, that is enough experience to make you more I'm not saying become a clever and cunning person, at least safeguard yourself, at least be that much of intellect that you are not repeating your mistakes. It is not wrong to commit mistake, repeating mistake is wrong. Okay, repeating the same mistake again and again, that is showing that person is not learning anything from his mistakes. So when you have this awareness that people are taking advantage of you, then at least in that matter you should learn from your experience and take better decisions in your life. So there is only one way to be practical, that is learn from your experiences. Uh, Ascendant Lord Jupiter exalted in 8th house, Sagittarius ascendant, Moon is in 6th house, and Venus in 12th house. Is it Viprit Raj Yoga? Yes, it is Viprit Raj Yoga, and it is quite a strong Viprit Raj Yoga. Okay, strong, why I say there that it is strong, that all the planets are in good dignity here. Okay, Jupiter is exalted, Moon is exalted, Venus is in neutral sign. So it is quite a strong Viparit Raj Yoga. And if now what is necessary, that this person should also go through the dasha, uh, which which activates these planets. Okay, so then person is going to get the benefits. Understand now, understand, and there is another important thing here, is that we think that okay, Viprit Raj Yoga means our mind automatically focuses on Raj Yoga. We forget the Viprit word. Okay, understand what it means when 6th Lord, 8th Lord, 12th Lord are exchanging houses, or Viprit Raj Yoga is happening. Out of some negative events you will gain benefit. So negative events will still happen. It is not that it is all going to be like very nice and going through a very royal life, nothing like that. You will still go through some negative events in your life. Those events eventually will bring benefit to you. Okay, understand it like this. uh, as in astrology, everything is in addition, everything adds up. So it is not that if you have Jupiter exalted in 8th house, then you will not go through any sudden event, any major transformation. You will go through major transformation, but as Jupiter is exalted, its Lord Moon is exalted, you will eventually gain from those major transformations or major changes in life. So this is important to understand. We because understand one thing, that majority of our interpretations are nothing but our desires. Whatever we desire, we interpret as per that. Okay, so normal mindset will work that okay, planets are in good position and they are exalted and all. I'm not going to face any difficulty, I'm not going to face any problem. It doesn't happen like this. If there is a 6th house, there is an 8th house, there is a 12th house, there is Saturn, there is Rahu, Mars, they are supposed to create some troubles in life. They are there to create troubles. That's why they are there. Okay, so troubles will still come even if planets are exalted or it is a strong Viparita Raj Yoga. Only thing is that you will eventually gain out of those negative events, those challenging events. Okay, even it is not right to say negative events, we can only say challenging events. Okay, Rahu in 11th house in Virgo and aspected by Saturn and Jupiter. What is the question? Rahu in first house in Scorpio, Ketu in the Taurus with Venus, Mars, and with Venus, Mars in 10th house in Magha. I am in media field. Does Rahu Ketu have Neech Bhang Raj Yoga? First of all, they don't have they are never exalted nor debilitated as per me. As per my understanding, Rahu and Ketu are never exalted nor debilitated. When they are not debilitated, there is no question of having a Neech Bhang Raj Yoga. Okay, understand, Rahu and Ketu are only doing their work in every house and every sign. Okay, in every house and every sign they are just doing their work. Rahu explodes, Ketu implodes. Rahu shows off things outside, and Ketu makes us go introvert and retrospect on certain things. So it is always the case with Rahu and Ketu. So in any house, any sign, it will do the same thing. Okay. Now, why they consider Rahu in Scorpio as debilitated or Ketu in Taurus as debilitated? Because we don't like instability in life. Okay, as a human being's nature is not to have instability in life. When Rahu is in Scorpio, it can bring lots of instability because it is expanding those Scorpio traits. Scorpio is the sign of major transformation. Rahu is there, it is further blowing those major transformation. Okay, so this person can have lots of instabilities. Okay, it can go through lots of ups, he can go through lots of ups and downs. So as we don't like, as a human being, we don't like instability. We thought that Rahu in Scorpio is debilitated, but Rahu is doing the same job in every house and every sign. If you make Rahu in Leo, it is highly creative person. If Rahu is in Cancer, highly emotional person. If Rahu is in Gemini, highly communicative person. So in any sign, it is just blowing things out of proportion related with that sign. Okay, so it is not doing anything other than that in Scorpio, but we don't like it. So we said okay, it is debilitated, but it is not. It is the doing the same job. So I don't think it is debilitated in Scorpio. It is just doing its job. So there is no question of any Neech Bhang Raj Yoga for Rahu. Okay, but we can say that Rahu is in Scorpio and Mars is in good dignity. So Rahu will give some benefits sooner or later in life. Okay, there is a video, there is a session which I earlier did about Rahu Ketu exaltation. That may be helpful for you. You can go, you can check in playlist of Rahu and Ketu videos. Okay. Any further question? To proportion related with that sign. Namaskar. Now please comment on the negative effects of debilitated Mercury with Ketu in 5th house Pisces D9. Okay, first of all, I prefer looking at D1 chart. Okay, I prefer looking at D1 chart, and then only I will go into D9 and D10 and all that. So I will first exhaustively interpret D1, and then I will discuss about D9 and D10. Now regarding this question, uh, D9 again, understand one of the reason why I don't prefer going into divisional charts is that majority of times divisional charts are not used for the purpose they are meant, as per me. This is my understanding. I can be right, I can be wrong, no issues. So as per my understanding, D9 is the chart of right life path. It has nothing to do with marriage, but majority of times people use D9 for marriage or relationship matters. Okay, so I personally feel that it has nothing to do with marriage, it has nothing to do with relationship. Okay, so that area of life, if you are asking about, that is gone. Now if you are asking about right life path, someone's right life path, and Mercury is debilitated in fifth house with Ketu, it shows that while following the right life path, or while finding the right life path in initial life, this person may not have proper intellect to understand things, what is their right life path. Okay, understand, fifth house is the house of your creative pursuits. It is Scorpio ascendant, as I understand, and Mercury is debilitated there. Mercury is 8th and 11th lord. So it is fifth house of D9 chart. I will interpret as the house of your happiness while following your right life path. This is my interpretation of fifth house of D9 chart. D9 chart is your right life path. Fifth house should be the happiness you derive from following your right life path. As Mercury is debilitated and it is with Ketu, it shows that you will realize, this person will realize right life path with certain delays. So there can be like kind of delays, or lots of changing and shifting. You may try many different life paths, and then you may arrive to your right life path. Okay, at the same time, if this conjunction is happening in the D1 chart, then it will show someone who is very good intuitively. Mercury with Ketu can in Pisces can make them very intuitive, very good with their intuitions, very good with their creative skills. But when they are communicating with in their personal life, okay, this is like profession or their interest and hobbies and all, that they are intuitive, they are very creative and all. But when they are communicating in their personal life, at in those times they may not be able to convey their ideas properly to the other person. Okay, so if this person, fifth house is also a house of your children, childbirth and all, or love romance matters. So in matters of love romance, if this person has a partner, they may not be able to convey their ideas effectively to their partner. Okay, Mercury in Pisces with Ketu, it separates them from intellect, it separates them from effectively communicating. Okay, but at the same time it can be very good for research oriented matters, it can be very good for spirituality. Every planetary position has something good to offer, something challenging to offer. We need to utilize the good, we need to improve, strengthen the challenging part. uh, Ketu in Rohini in 7th house, Jupiter in 11th house, Venus in 7th house. Running Jupiter Ketu Dasha, Jupiter Venus Dasha will start in June. What are the features of my spouse and when can I meet her? I have no idea. You are asking the wrong person. I have some very different views on astrology and marriage. I always say marriage is a social institution, it has nothing to do with astrology. Your society decides whom you are going to marry. All I can say that in Jupiter Venus Dasha you can find a person, you can meet a person, but whether that relationship, whether that alliance will convert into marriage or not, it depends upon your social criterias. It depends upon lots of other things like someone's caste, someone's religion, someone's language, someone's bank balance, someone's face. All these things become important when Ketu is with Venus in 7th house or anywhere. Okay, Ketu Venus conjunction gives this tug of war kind of thing. What happens that these people when they have they are not in relationship. Understand, Venus is relationship, 7th house is relationship, and Ketu is separation. Okay, so it is like a kind of tug of war always going on, that this person wants to be in relationship. Okay, when they are single they want to be in relationship, but when they are in relationship they feel that okay, my single life was better. So this tug of war continues with Ketu Venus conjunction. Now it is important that they should realize it is their own internal issue. If I am having the same feeling with 3 4 different partners of mine, then I should realize that it is my own issue, it is not their issue. In relationship matters it is very easy to project on other person. Okay, so this is where they should realize it is their own internal issue if they are feeling separated from every partner of theirs, and they should start resolving that issue internally rather than projecting on other person. So in relationship matter this person will find lots of difficulty in connecting with other person, emotionally connecting or mentally connecting with other person. They will always have this sense of separation from other person, that I am unable to understand her point of view or his point of view, and other person will also feel the same. Okay, so my advice would be to not think much about the features of the spouse rather than how you can connect with the other person. Mm. What is the effect of Rahu in second house Taurus in D1 chart? In D9 Saturn is in the second house of Sagittarius Navamsha. Okay, Rahu in second house Taurus can be wonderful for your wealth related matters. It can make you a very wealthy person, but Rahu remains a malefic planet. So saving your wealth can be equally troublesome. Okay, as it is a malefic planet, you are gaining wealth. Okay, you may be gaining from foreign sources. Okay, but it is difficult to save that wealth. So here this person needs to work on his savings, investments, how he or she can save the money. um, that is important for this person, and then only this Rahu in Taurus can give long lasting results. Because suppose even if I am earning 1 lakh rupees per month and I am spending it away, all the money, then how does it matter? What is the benefit? What is the benefit of all that hard work which I am doing, and I am earning that much money but I am just spending it away? So that is where this person needs to work, that the wealth factor. Okay, in D9 again for me it is chart of right life path. Second house of D9 chart shows the kind of wealth you generate while following your right life path. When Saturn is there in own sign, Capricorn sign, it shows that this person will realize right life path with certain delay, and the wealth will also generate or grow with certain delay. Okay, again Navamsha has nothing to do with marriage or relationship. Thank you. Thanks. Mars in 5th house can determine childbirth via C-section, cut to abdomen, right? But a person dying during childbirth, example given, complications, difficult delivery, which planet and house combination can cause that. In my experience, I haven't come across such a case so far that person has died. Okay, so I really there can be theories, but unless and until I see the practical example, I cannot say that if it really works. I have seen abortions happening. I have seen miscarriages happening. Okay, most prominent is when two strong malefics are in the fifth house in wrong dignity. At that time the person can go through an abortion or miscarriage kind of thing, especially with the first child or first delivery. But when it comes to the person dying, the mother herself dying, I haven't come across, so I cannot comment. Another thing for childbirth, the chart of girl is always more important than the guys. So even if the father, the to be father, has some difficult combinations in fifth house, I will not pay much attention. I will focus on the girl's chart, mother's to be mother's chart. If her chart is better, then things can be good. Even in that case, understand, I want to clarify this. The best example I can share is that one of my friend, she is a Gemini ascendant, Libra sign, Saturn, Ketu are there in the fifth house. First childbirth, no problem in childbirth. Okay, no problem in childbirth, everything went fine, and Saturn, Ketu are there. Okay, two strong malefics in fifth house, still no problem. Then what is the problem happening is that even when the child is like 1 year or 2 year old, the child doesn't want to stay with the mother, child wants to stay with the father. Okay, understand it like this. So Saturn, Ketu in any ways are giving the results. Saturn, Ketu are in any ways separating the child from mother. Even as a child, child doesn't want to stay with her, with mother. Okay, this is a kind of separation. Saturn, Ketu are giving the results. They are giving in this different way. So as an astrologer, if I am looking at someone's chart, or if you are looking, I will always advise, never give this type of judgment that only this will happen. Okay, because even for separation kind of thing, there are 100 ways of separating. Okay, someone can be separated mentally, someone can be separated physically, someone can have differences of opinion, disconnection, someone can go away to another country, that is a way of separation. Someone can the death is only one of the way that you get separated from someone. It is only one of the way, but there are thousand other ways for separation. So that is what I am trying to say, that universe can utilize any of these ways to separate someone from other person. Okay, so we cannot give this generic advice or prediction that if someone has a strong malefics in the fifth house, then he or she is bound to have loss of their child. Nothing, we cannot say that. We can only say that there can be a problem related with the childbirth, either the childbirth or with the first child. Okay, it can be any problem. What is the effect of Saturn and Venus conjunction in 6th house for Mithun Lagna? Saturn and Venus conjunction is Scorpio sign. It can give lots of difficulties in relationship, lots of stress in relationship, ups and downs, instabilities, changes in relationship. Then 6th house is also house of illness. Okay, Scorpio is the sign of a sign of your accidents, surgeries also. Saturn rules the eighth house of accidents and surgeries, and Saturn sits into the sixth house. This person should be careful against accidents and surgeries. Should be careful while driving, traveling, uh, and be aware of whatever he is doing. Uh, be aware against any bone or teeth related illnesses. Okay, Venus represents this illnesses related with this sugar, diabetes, or kidney related, urine related. So person should be careful against these. For relationship matters it is difficult, but if this person wants to be a lawyer or a doctor, it is a good position for this these type of professions. Venus Ketu is correct. Thank you, madam. What is the good and the bad? Okay. What is the good and the bad effect of Rahu in 6th house Sagittarius sign and Ketu in the 12th house Gemini sign? Good effects can be like person can be highly knowledge oriented. Sagittarius is the sign of higher education, knowledge, guidance, counseling. So that is the thing. Then Rahu blows things out of proportion. Rahu represents our obsession. So this person can be obsessed about gaining more and more knowledge. Okay. uh, uh, Ketu in Gemini can make them work hard on their communications. In initial life, they may have lots of issues in communicating with other people, because Ketu is separation, Gemini is communication, separated from effectively communicating with others. Okay. Another thing which normally causes Rahu Ketu both represent illusion. 6th house and 12th house are health oriented houses. They can bring lots of health issues to the person, which may be difficult to diagnose. Okay, it can bring those health issues which are difficult to diagnose correctly. So if there is any confusion, person should always take a second opinion. Also, Rahu and Ketu both represent alternate medication. So in case of any health issues, alternate medication is going to help them more. If regarding career, they should be in any knowledge sharing career. That will be the best thing for them. But when it comes to health issues, they or dealing with conflicts and litigation, the sixth house related matters, they have to be extra careful. Okay. Then how can the effects of Jupiter be reduced in sixth house for the Libra ascendant person? Why you want Jupiter's effect to be reduced? Jupiter is in sixth house Pisces. It is in good dignity. Okay, it is a strong Jupiter. Why you don't want Jupiter to give the best results? Okay, although it is in sixth house, but it is still in own sign Pisces. Difficulty might have come. Understand it like this. I understand it is in sixth house. It is in one of the Dushtana house. If Jupiter had been debilitated in the sixth house, then the difficulty would have come. Okay, if Jupiter is in own sign or exaltation sign in the sixth house, it shows that you will get involved with sixth house related things, the disputes, diseases, conflicts and all, and you will come out as a winner. You will have benefits. Eventually you will gain out of those sixth house related matters. Okay, so in my opinion, it is not a bad position. uh, Also understand, even if Jupiter is not there, some other planet will be there in the sixth house. So it is not that you can get rid of your sixth house, eighth house, 12th house in any circumstances. We will go through many dashas, many transits through life. Okay, that sixth house will become active at a certain point of life. Okay, so there is no point in like how I can reduce. Just think that how you can best utilize that situation. Okay, And the one of the ways is to just be aware of whatever you have done in your life, aware of whatever you are doing in your life, aware of your earlier mistakes in life. That will help you the most. Okay, if you are learning from your earlier mistakes, then you are not going to repeat those mistakes, and you are having much better results of Jupiter in 6,000 Pisces. Okay, as I see, it is very good position. It can help you a great deal in your spiritual life. Jupiter is spirituality, Pisces is spirituality. For a spiritual side of life, it is a very good position, and you can create your business out of it. Understand, Jupiter is third lord, sitting in the sixth house in own sign Pisces. This person's daily work life, the sixth house can be in any knowledge sharing business, the third house, and that knowledge can be related with spirituality, imagination, creativity. You can also be interested in psychology, because Pisces represents subconscious mind. So you can utilize this Jupiter's position in these matters positively. Okay. uh, the other things like Jupiter can bring illnesses related with liver and gallbladder, plus arteries, fat, obesity. So you need to be proactive against those illnesses. Even in conflicts, you can utilize your wisdom, knowledge to come out of those conflicts. So all I am trying to say that this is a very good position of Jupiter, and you should not think about reducing its effect. Okay, that is why I am explaining this much. Then I have a compelling need to make true friends, and I feel jealous when I see people have such true relation. I have never made a strong connection with family, friends, or anyone else. How do I get contentment of not achieving true connections with people? Uh, okay, so maybe in your chart, there are four nakshatras. Okay, understand? There are four nakshatras: Bharani, Ashlesha, Vishakha, and Shravana. Okay, these four nakshatras, they are outcast. Okay, their class is outcast. So when these nakshatras are prominent in someone's chart, person is an outcast. Person doesn't feel connected with anyone. Like I can say about myself, I am Vishakha ascendant nakshatra, and I have three planets in Capricorn in Shravana. Okay, I am complete outcast and I am fine with it. Okay, I have no issues. Somehow I don't even want to connect with people in friendship or relationship now. Okay, I have gone through all that. So also understand, you may have these nakshatras strong, which is making you feel disconnected from the society or from the people, friends, and all. You might have this came through yoga, where moon is alone in the chart. No planet before the moon, no planet after the moon. That is also a creates a lunar. So that can be a possibility. But what I'm trying to say here is that there is nothing like a completely true relationship or completely true friendship. Every friendship has its own difficulties, every relationship has its own difficulties. It looks like, especially in this world of social media, where we can paint a false picture very easily. Okay, where I can just post my pictures with my friends or my relationship partner. I can show to the world that, oh, how happy I am. It is very easy to paint a false picture, and other people may feel that, okay, I am living a very wonderful life and all. But understand that every friendship has its challenges, and every relationship has its challenges. There is no ideal friendship, there is no ideal relationship. Even I have my friends from my school days. Okay, they are great friends, but even with those friends, I had my issues, and they have had issues with me. Okay, so even those friendships can go through their difficult phases. Okay, so there is nothing like ideal scenario where things are just ideally suited as per your needs. Okay, so understand it like this. Okay, that's what I mean to say. So that is where you should be focusing. First of all, don't judge your life by looking at others life, especially in this day and age of social media. Okay, anyone can paint a false picture these days. I should have discussed personally with you. Just a second, someone said thank you. Yes, thank you, you're welcome. uh, I should have discussed personally with you before. I'm not Guruji. Okay, you can call me Vishal. There is a great change at home. Can you explain how talking to an astrologer activates planets in horoscope? Is it Jupiter? Hmm. A great change at home means home. I would connect with fourth house. Maybe Saturn is transiting your fourth house, or Rahu Ketu are transiting your fourth house, or they are aspecting your fourth house. There can be some changes related with that. Maybe Jupiter also, but if it is an expansion, if someone is having renovation at home, that is Jupiter, because it is expanding the value of that house. Okay, so that is the thing. Then second thing is, understand every planet is active. It is not that if you talk to me or someone else, then only some planet will become active. Understanding in reverse order, that planet is active, that is why you are talking to me or talking to anyone else. Okay, so it is not that talking to me is making the planet active, that planet is active, that is why you are talking to me. Okay, understand it like this. All the planets are active all the times, 24/7. If any one of them become inactive, we will become inactive. Understand it like this. So it is very important for us to understand that all the planets are active. Only thing is that the dasha planet results are more apparent right in our face, and we feel those results more potently. So we feel that this planet is active or that planet is active. Now this dasha is coming, that planet will become active. But every planet is active. Dasha planets are their results are more apparent right on our face, so we feel those results. Okay, let's move ahead. Saturn and Mars in the 8th house. Saturn and Mars in the 8th house of Scorpio ascendant. Okay, aspected by Jupiter. Jupiter is in 4th house Kumbh Rashi. Now Saturn Venus Dasha running. What is the question? Okay, it's about Dasha. Then it is Saturn Mars in 8th house Gemini. Okay, first of all, this Dasha can bring lots of transformation, lots of changes in your life. Okay, that is the first thing. Second thing, Saturn Mars brings lots of frustration also, because Mars nature and Saturn's nature is completely opposite. Mars wants to achieve everything quickly, Saturn wants to delay things. As I always say, Saturn Mars conjunction is like a hurdle race. Someone wants to achieve his target or designated spot quickly, but there are lots of hurdles on the way, lots of barricades on the way. So eventually it makes a very hard working person, because this person realizes that nothing is going to happen without hard work. Now this Saturn and Mars are in your 8th house. It can bring lots of frustration in your relationship life. It can bring lots of issues with your in-laws. But at the same time, if you are in business setup work, then it can be a good. It can make you very active in your business setup work. Jupiter is aspecting shows a little bit of benefits coming from inheritance, your interest in occult and research oriented side of life. Saturn Venus dasha is going on. So Venus is seventh lord. Venus is also your 12th lord. So in relationship matters, they will have a sense of losses. Okay, sense of loss means they will feel that okay, I am in relationship with this person, I am spending so much time and emotion, and it is a matter of loss. I am not getting any return out of it. Okay, but at the same time, if this person goes into business setup work, then the same Venus can help him grow and earn a lot. Understand the Jiva Karka thing, living significances, non living significances. So, living significances are always going to be troublesome. Your relationship part are always going to be troublesome. Non living significances like your business, currency, wealth, career, you can have better results related with those things. It is moon in Shravana. Yes, Shravana is one of the outcast. So when moon is in Shravana, it is like your mind is outcast. Your mind is not letting you connect with people. Okay, which is with time I have realized that it is good thing in this day and age. Are there any planetary combination for taking astrology as a profession? There are many planetary combination. If you go in on the website, my website, there is an article. What makes an astrologer? Planetary combination for the profession of astrologer. There is a chart there also. You can see that chart. That chart is mine, and you will have better idea what combinations make a person astrologer. Search for chart of an astrologer, occultist, something like that, and you will find that article. Because his fourth house is loaded with the stand in Jupiter now and Jupiter now in transit. Right. So Jupiter in fourth house transit can bring renovation and other things related with renovation and all, like enhancing the beauty of the house, or someone having more properties. It can also expand someone's property. Okay. So and that is the thing with Jupiter transiting the fourth house. What should we pay attention to in Atmakaraka Dasha? Atmakaraka is your destination in life. Okay, Atmakaraka is the planet which is making you realize your destination or life path. Okay, so if you are in Atmakaraka Dasha, that means in Atmakaraka Dasha you can realize your true life path or true destination in life. Okay, it can make you gravitate towards those things which you should be doing in your life, ideally. Okay, any further question? I think we are done. Okay. Does aspect depend on functional malefic or benefic or the primary karak tattva of this of that planet? Meaning, does aspect of Jupiter change if it is functional malefic? Uh, for this first of all, understand functional malefic. If Jupiter is ruling your 6th house, 8th house, 12th house with Sagittarius sign, then it is functional malefic, right? So for Cancer ascendant, Taurus ascendant and Capricorn ascendant, it becomes functional malefic. Now wherever Jupiter is placed, first of all, what is important is the Jupiter's dignity and strength in the chart. Then comes the aspect. If it is strong, it shows that it's the person will go through the troubles of 6th, 8th and 12th house, and he will come out of it. He will eventually gain. At the same time, the thing you asked is that if it is functional malefic, how the aspect is going to change the significance. As I understand, if someone is dealing with 6th house related issues, okay, or 8th house or 12th house, whichever house makes that planet a functional malefic, okay. If suppose it is a Capricorn ascendant chart, so 12th house related 12th house has Sagittarius sign, 12th house is making Jupiter functional malefic. Now when this person is dealing with 12th house related issues, in that case only Jupiter will behave as a functional malefic. Jupiter is a natural benefic planet. For everything it doesn't become a functional malefic. Okay, understand. The basic nature is still the most important thing. Jupiter is a natural benefic planet. It will remain a natural benefic planet only when this Capricorn ascendant person is dealing with 12th house related things. It will start behaving as a functional malefic planet. Okay, so only on that aspect of life. For all other aspects of life, this planet is remains a benefic planet. Malefics in 6th house in the nakshatra of Lagna Lord. Is it good? Okay, just a second. Okay. Just a second. Malefics in 6th house. So there is a theory going on. If malefic planets are in the 6th house, 8th house or 12th house, then they are good. First of all, house doesn't decide the dignity. They should also be sign wise good. Okay. Their sign based dignity should be good. If Saturn is in Aries in the 6th house, then it is not good, it is troublesome. If Saturn is in Aries in 8th house, then also it is troublesome. Okay, so first of all we need to understand that dignity, the sign based dignity should also be good. Another thing, it suppose Saturn is in Capricorn, Aquarius, okay, then it is in good dignity, but it is good for only that 6th house related matter. Okay, so when you are dealing with conflicts and litigation and disputes and diseases, in those matters, Saturn in the 6th house in Capricorn or Aquarius will give you better results. When it comes to your relationship matters or other aspects of life, it is still a troublesome position, because 6th house is the house of conflicts, obstacles. You may face lots of obstacles. So Saturn in the 6th house or any malefic in the 6th house in good dignity can be good for that malefic, that Dushtana house related matters. Okay, so when you are dealing with conflicts, litigation, disputes, diseases, this planet can help you if it is in good dignity, but it doesn't mean that it will help you in all the other aspects of your life. It will only help you in that Dushtana house related matters. What is the result of Ketu in Magha Nakshatra without any aspect and conjunction in the fifth house? Magha is the nakshatra of royal authority, throne. Okay, so when person has Ketu in the Magha Nakshatra, this person doesn't want to get any authority for himself, and he doesn't want anyone to behave in an authoritative way to himself. Okay, he doesn't want to be authoritative over anyone, he doesn't like to be bossy over other people, and he doesn't want to be he doesn't want anyone to be bossy over him. That is the result of Ketu in Magha in fifth house. Okay, other results can be there, that he can be creative and all, but this is the main thing, that they don't want to be authoritative for themselves, they don't want others to be authoritative on them. Good evening. During Dasha analysis, do we consider Dasha and Antardasha lords, lordship houses, or their compatibility with each other, or their position to each other? Which one give more priority? Okay, so this is the hierarchy when you are dealing with the Dasha. First of all, the Karak. Okay, what planet represents on itself, then houses it rules, then houses it sits, especially the dignity, then conjunction, then aspect, then nakshatra position, then the nakshatra it activates. Okay, after these things, see what is where the antardasha planet is falling from the mahadasha planet. Okay, that is the thing. Like if I am going through Mars Saturn dasha, and Saturn is third from Mars, so I am also going to get the third house related results. Okay, and then we should also see the basic nature or basic relationship between both the planets. Like if it is Sun Saturn dasha, this dasha will be bringing some conflicts, because Sun Saturn are conflicting planets. Likewise Mars Mercury, they are great enemies, so this dasha will be troublesome. No matter, even if Mars is exalted, Mercury is exalted, it's still that dasha will bring some difficulties, because Mars and Mercury are natural enemies, great enemies to each other. Okay, it is like two enemies getting activated together. It is like Ram and Ravan both are getting activated. Okay, so there has to be some conflict. Okay, so this is the thing with the dasha. Okay, so their mutual relationship with each other decides how that dasha will go as a whole. Okay, there is nothing like priority. Okay, I understand. If I just say that this is more important, our human mind will automatically leave the other thing as non-important. Everything is equally important in astrology. Ketu in sixth house in Jyeshtha, very research oriented person. This person can like research a lot about occult mysticism and any research oriented subject. Okay, at the same time, this person should be careful regarding health issues. When health issues are there, uh, homeopathic medication can be more helpful. Ketu represents homeopathy, I guess. If Jupiter Venus conjunction happens in Navamsha but separate in D1, does it point towards something, or do we need not pay much attention to it? Uh, if you are dealing with someone's right life path related matters, if someone has asked about his right life path, then we need to interpret this Jupiter Venus conjunction in the D9. But if someone has not asked for that, then we need not to worry about it. Then your D1 chart is enough for remaining questions of the person. Okay, I think we had lots of questions today. Thank you. I think it is enough for the day, unless someone has any other question. I will just wait for 2 minutes. If someone has any question, just post it. Otherwise, we will close for the day. Okay. Okay, I think we are done. Take care. Enjoy your Sunday evening with your family and all. Enjoy. Okay. Bye. What about how? We have some questions. What about all planets in 8th house? Just moon in 7th house. Life, a life of full of instability. If someone has many planets in the 8th house, this person's life is all about dealing with instabilities, ups and downs of life. Moon in 7th house shows and the more this person gets involved with other people, masses, okay, the better he will gain in his life, better peace of mind he will get. It is very important for this person to connect with other people, to connect with the masses. Okay, then only he will find the peace of mind. Research oriented mind and homeopathy and mudras are working well. Thank you. I mean, astrologer is Jupiter. Yes, we can say Jupiter, as Jupiter is a natural counselor. Uh, Astrologer can be represented by Jupiter. Mithun Lagna, right. uh, Again, it is the life path of dealing with instabilities. Means if Jupiter is good, then one will get good teacher, good astrologer and good doctors in life. Yeah, we can say that a person will have good counselors in life. One will have good guides in life when Jupiter is strong. It also shows his ability to be receptive towards counseling. Just to add, the fifth house is the main house of receptivity towards counseling. If I am counseling someone and if that person has trashed fifth house, there is a very little chance that he will be receptive towards my counseling. Okay, that is the case. Okay, thank you. Bye. Take care. Enjoy.